Come on in, y'all. Late night Q&A and shit talk. hmm What up, y'all? It's the nigga in the dark. Don't ask if I'm getting on. Don't turn the light on. The answer is no. What's up, Dre Day? Yeah, we up in this motherfucker. What's up, James Husband, Sherelle Bryant? Here on this late night evening. Y'all like me, I don't watch that much TV at all. I'm like, either I'm on YouTube or I'm doing some other shit. I'm either on YouTube or I'm doing some other shit. Only thing I watch on regular TV is basketball. I watch basketball, nature programs, and the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Superpowers Woods. And I hope Craig Fast comes to Brooklyn, New York one day too. Shit, but I'm not in control of that. But that's not my call. What's up, Kelvin? Oliver Green. There's a lot going on right now. Do I think Karen Bass will be mayor? Karen Bass has a good chance at being mayor because she's a well-respected politician. She has a reputation. She's gone up the ladder here in local Los Angeles ranks from local districts to the board of supervisors, and she's saying the right things to them folks. She's basically letting the white folks know that she ain't really fucking with the niggas, and she's pandering to Mexicans. So Karen Bass has a good shot. I remember Karen Bass used to at least sound down. Like when she was over it was the district where I used to live. She was over that district. Yeah. She used to hold town hall meetings. Karen Bass used to hold town hall meetings in Inglewood at the Savoy, and we could ask her questions, and she'd actually give us straight answers. So I'm talking like that was like 2008 Karen Bass, 2010, 2006 Karen Bass. Now she ain't no good for the niggas. So, and most of LA for the most part don't really like Rick Caruso. So we'll see. Oh, there was another shooting in Atlanta. What was that about? What was that Atlanta shooting about? What's up, y'all? Quentin, Free Truth. Hey, what up, man? Everything good?
Yeah, y'all be real entertaining.
I talk Craig Facts. We and we be having fun, dog. Yes, sir. I have a good one, man. Yeah, I appreciate that, Sherelle. Yeah, yesterday we on Craig Facts. We was all talking yesterday about remember we were talking about the Buffalo shooter and what are black people doing? And the point I was making, and it's a point that a lot of black people tend to overlook or maybe, I don't know, voluntarily not see. And that's the fact that we don't give a fuck about racism until that shit hit us in the motherfucking face. When racism slap us in the face, now all of a sudden, it's we need to come together. We need a solution. That shit lasts for 3 days, 5 or maybe 5 days. and then it's back to where the fuck. Like niggas are already forgetting about the Buffalo shooter. Let's just be real. Niggas for the most part it's Tuesday. That shit happened Saturday. I guarantee you, by Friday morning, you're not gonna hear shit about that Buffalo shooter. You already starting to see the shit taper off now. And then when shit do happen, they come to niggas like me who been paying attention the whole time and be like, "Hey, but what are we gonna do?" I go, "Well, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stay on this shit 24/7. I'm not gonna wait until a shooting happens to be concerned about black people and our safety. Nigga, that's 24/7. That's something that we gotta eat, sleep, breathe, and shit." I appreciate that, Montez. Yeah, Lil Wayne said that shit. I never experienced racism. Like, I'm like, man, the Hotep niggas is the ones that stay on this shit. The Hotep niggas is the one that be like, get your guns. I remember what Brother Kaba Kamene said one time. Brother Kaba said, I believe in gun control. Control your gun. You don't get that shit for the people that's in the black church crowd. You don't get that talk from the people in the black mainstream, your blue check Twitter. You don't see black blue check Twitter talking about arming up and getting guns. You don't see the black Democrat Party people saying that. You don't see the black LGBTQers saying that. You don't see the black people talking about intersectionality and this. You notice this. You never see the people talking about black and brown talk about guns. You never see the people saying, hey, black and brown, we're minorities. We're people of color. You'll never see them niggas talking about protecting themselves. Never. They talk about everything but protecting ourselves. But then the minute this Buffalo shooting happened or a shooting like that, then they come to the Hotep niggas. What we gonna do? Y'all ain't doing a goddamn thing. That's what I know for sure. He said he's got himself a new holster. I'm about to get myself a new holster. Like I'm getting that one. You know that holster that they have? Cause like I'm getting my CCW here in LA. I saw this shit on an ad, a late night ad, and I went and looked it up. I'm about to get one. That holster that go inside your pants, and it's like a little clip, and you pull that motherfucker out and grab your man. I'm getting that one. I forgot what it's called. It's a leather. I forgot what that holster's called, but it kind of goes inside your pants, not in your pocket, and it has like a pull. You pull it with one hand. I'm getting that one, uh, and I think I'm gonna trade in my nine. You got Glock 19? I'm thinking about getting one of those, Frank. Because right now I have one of my I'm not gonna tell you how many guns I have, but I got a fair amount of guns. One of the guns I have is a Smith and Wesson, and it's an 8 shooter. California Max is 10 shots, but I'm like, man, I got to get something that holds a higher capacity, man, because California goes back and forth. It has a 10 shot maximum, but the California Supreme Court struck that down, and then an appellate court put it back on, and then another court struck it back down. So basically, in California, the laws are changing like every 9 months. It's like the ban is off and it's on, it's off and it's on. So I'm gonna get myself a few 24 clips for when it's on, for when the ban is off. But I'm either gonna get a Beretta or I'm gonna get a Glock. But I need something. I need a nine because I want another 9 millimeter. I done stacked up and I got a few thousand rounds of 9 millimeter ammo. So I want to get another nine. And that's what I'm talking about, Yellow Beezy. Oh yeah, you niggas, you in Texas. I mean, you get to carry. You Texas niggas get to. You get enough bullets to shoot God. God damn, you niggas can carry a bunch of bullets. You niggas got enough. Y'all be having all kind of armor piercing. I think Texas got spirit piercing bullets, nigga. You can kill the nigga's ancestors in Texas. God damn. Like you down here helping this motherfucker out? Die again, bitch. It's these Democratic strongholds. Man, I'm telling y'all, man. I used to be King Democrat 15 years ago, nigga, when I was in my 20s. When I was in my 20s, I thought I knew it all, nigga. My 20s and my early 30s, nigga, it was vote blue no matter who. We need gun control. It's the guns that's killing people. Oh, man, shit. I was saying that kind of bullshit when I was 26. It's, it's the guns. We need to stop the guns. That's why you got to grow and mature in life. Don't judge yourself where you used to be. Just make sure you keep reinventing yourself and reinventing how you think, re-seeing how you think. This nigga said I got mail seeking rounds. Ah, that's funny. You should look at Smith & Wesson CRX. No, I recommend. No, I recommend a shotgun, a rifle, and a pistol and a revolver. I recommend you get one of all four. Man, I got a Mossberg 590, 12 gauge. Shit, come in my house if you want to. And I don't. I use birdshot, nigga. Birdshot in my first round. I put birdshot in the chamber. Nigga, everything else is buckshot. Birdshot in the chamber. Buckshot for the next 6 rounds. I got a pistol grip Mossberg 592. When I'm in the house, I ain't trying to have my elbows all out. Nigga, that pistol grip, put that hoe right in front of me. That motherfucker's already got one of the chambers. I ain't even got to cock that motherfucker. Come in my house if you want to. Yak, 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 yak. Nigga, and that's it. So G Mars, yeah, yeah, that's right. That first one's the warning shot. You got a slug in that last one? Oh shit! See, I ain't got a slug in mine, man. I ain't. Nigga, what, you trying to kill a moose, nigga? That buckshot will do. That buckshot will do. You got body armor on, I'm taking your head off. Yeah. Why you want a 25 round drum, Shano? That's gonna be heavy as fuck. I don't know who Derek Grace is, Tri Hippie. What's up, Ibo? That's my nigga right there, Ibo Brewer. Y'all say what's up to Ibo Brewer. That's a good brother right there, man. Y'all say what's up to Ibo Brewer. That's a good brother right there, man. For real, for real. You said are you a medical examiner? SSMC. That's why I fuck with you. I be having some smart motherfuckers in this chat room. That's why. That's why I be nice to you niggas. I might need one of you niggas one day. This nigga said he a medical examiner. He said, yeah, birdshot tear inside up. See, what last thing first? Yeah, man, guns. 10 years ago, shit, I would be like, we're not talking about guns. Like, I would go to the gun range or whatever because shooting guns has always been fun. But them Democrats had my mind, boy. They had my mind here in L.A. Yeah, I'm not fucking with, I'm not fucking with the 25 round drum on my shotgun. That's too heavy. Nope, 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 nope. This motherfucker, 25 round drum. You should train your kids on guns. A lot of these white kids, you be seeing these little YouTube videos. These little bastards be out there, 6, 7 years old, doing military style training. They do all that training, but still ain't coming to fuck with us. They go shoot old people and shit. Dirty bastards. See, that's why it pays. That's why it pays to study white people, study how they get down. See, one thing I don't like. Here's one conversation I don't like. One thing I appreciate the last name first. And see, one thing, yeah, that laser called laser hit, yeah. California, HBK3Z, California is going back and forth right now. The magazine ban, the maximum magazine ban got struck down by the California Supreme Court in early 2021. But there's just been a back and forth between, no, back in 2020. There's been a back and forth between the California Supreme Court and the California Appellate Courts on the California magazine ban. So that's one of those things that's up in the air. Like a lot of the gun shops out here, they sell the 25 round mag drum, but whether or not you can use it, that shit gets tossed and back between the courts every few months. Yeah. Why would the people in Buffalo set their own city on fire because a white boy from 200 miles away came and shot him up? That wouldn't make sense for the people in Buffalo to start a riot over that. The police didn't do it. The 18-year-old white boy did, who wasn't even from there. So we gotta realize black people aren't stupid when we riot. We only riot when we don't justice. We understand that shit can happen to us. God damn, that was a little Pizza Hut delivery car smashing out. That nigga must be. He must. You don't give it. It's gonna be a free pizza, nigga. What the fuck you driving that fast for? Well, anyway, black people ain't stupid when we riot. We riot when there's a consistent miscarriage of justice, meaning A, B, C crime happened, but A, B, the people who prosecute these crimes don't prosecute other colored people when those crimes happen against black people. When that's been happening over a steady stream of time, at that point, black people riot. Black people ain't gonna riot because some random ass white boy done came down from 200 miles away and shot. We understand that that shit happens. We're not that stupid. Now, if this white boy goes to trial and the judge says that, you know, not guilty, then okay, at that point you might see it right. At that point you might see it right. But between now and then, there's absolutely no reason for the people in Buffalo to riot. None at all. The riots are silly shit. I'm from LA. Riots ain't silly at all. What the hell you talking about? I was here. I was 10 when them riots happened in LA. And I saw it. Go back and look at my show I did on the LA riots. When them motherfuckers started listening after the LA riots. See, I got a different perspective. And this isn't about anyone in particular, but a lot of black people talk because they ain't the ones doing shit. I had like you ever notice when they talk about black people, they always try to compare us to the lowest amongst us. They be like, man, all black people do is buy Jordans. That's why they ain't getting what they want. How many times y'all hear that shit growing up and throughout your life? If we stop buying Jordans, man, if we just come together, and man, no. I remember my mom was going to Maxine Waters when she was in the local state, and when she was in our local state representative before she got to Congress, when she was in the California Congress. My mom was at the Maxine Waters meetings, telling Maxine Waters what was going on in our neighborhood. Like, why ain't we ain't got no movie theaters? Why ain't we ain't got this? Why ain't we ain't got that? I remember being at them meetings when I was 6 years old, playing with my mom used to take me when I was 6 because like my dad would get off work late, and sometimes my brother and sister they be like at basketball practice or some shit like that. So I'd have to go with my mom to these Maxine Waters meetings, and she hand me a couple of my GI Joes, and I had to sit. I'd be sitting in the seat playing with my GI Joes while my mom was talking to Councilman Nate Holden and Maxine Waters. And back then it was a lady in L.A. Her name was Yvonne Brathwaite Burke. Kenneth Hahn before her. She took Kenneth Hahn's spot. I'm naming old school L.A. politicians. We was at them meetings with my family demanding all kind of shit. They weren't hearing us. Shit. 3 days of riots. All of a sudden, oh, we got our tree cut down in our front yard that was fucking up our plumbing after them riots, nigga. Nigga, we had a big fire sporting goods. When I was a kid, we had to drive way to fucking Culver City, and I played sports all the time. The gym and the pool was a goddamn quarter mile down the street from the house, but we had to drive 10 miles to get to the nearest big five sporting goods to go to the park that was a quarter mile down the street. Them LA riots happened, niggas got big five sporting goods. The police stopped kicking our ass. You didn't see no ass whoopings all throughout the 90s and the 2000s in LA. You didn't see no more ass whoopings. Nigga, the crash department was disbanded. Crash used to be on that bullshit. Go look at my episode. Nigga, the LA riots got the feds to investigate the LAPD. And when the feds investigated the LAPD, you know what came out of that? The Rampart scandal. When all the police officers went to jail and they found out that Rampart division was planting drugs on niggas and doing all kind of weird shit. Nigga, don't ever tell me riots don't work. Shit. Riots, no, I tell you who riots don't work for. They don't work for insurance companies. Riots don't work for insurance companies. Riots don't work for white people. Riots don't work for Asian business owners that disrespect us. Riots don't work for them because they're going to have to pay a lot of money. Don't let them liberals lie to you and say riots don't work. Shit. Yeah. See, the thing with us is we ride and we stop. What's up, everybody? Yeah. You said crazy how the FBI don't catch people stockpiling? Yeah. Yeah. You said the big five on Sepulveda? Hell yeah, Biz Marti. You know what I'm talking about? The one on Sepulveda? In Culver City, I was at that same one, 93 to 95, because it wasn't no damn big. That big five on Crenshaw opened up, I think, in like 97, 98 is when that big five on Crenshaw opened up. That was all directly because of the riots. Before that, the closest big five was on Sepulveda, right down the street from that train store, the little train hobby store, nigga, in Culver City. And so that means niggas have to deal with. That means in order to get sporting goods, we have to deal with the most Nazi ass Culver City PD. Culver City's more racist than the LAPD. Culver City was a sundown town. Yeah, Rampart had connections with Biggie's brother. I said, then I moved to Pasadena. Yeah, man, riots, like, they work. But when it come down to it, black people, like, look, what we gotta, what we have to do is sustain our focus on what's going on with us. We can't take days off. They don't take days off. This little white boy wrote this long ass manifesto talking about how much he hates black men and how dangerous black men are. He had time to write on his gun, here's your reparations. This motherfucker didn't just start paying attention to black people 2 weeks ago. For him to be as detailed as he was about black people, that means his focus has been on black people for a long time. The difference between black people and white people is we focus on white supremacy to end it and to defend ourselves. We ain't focusing on white supremacy to go shoot up a white neighborhood. That's not our get down. They focus on us to go kill our grandparents. Nigga, not even us, our grandparents and the kids while we lollygagging. It's good to have fun. Like, I love having fun. I love having fun. Fun is my favorite thing to do on earth. But we got to see what's going on in the world around us. And don't, like, one thing that we do a lot as a people also, collectively, not all of us, but too many of us, another thing that we do collectively is we ever notice, and this happens a lot with even with the men faster than with the women. We go straight to discounting white supremacy racism. We'll see something as a people, and then we'll see a white person do something, and well, man, I don't mean it was racist though. That person probably just had a bad day. We do dumb shit like that. Like, what, as black people, what do we get out of excusing white people for being white? What do we get out of saying it's not about race? Like what's the tangible benefit we receive when we jump to saying, "Hey man, don't mean everything ain't about race." What do we get out of that? Whether or not he got help, I'm pretty sure he may have gotten help. He may have gotten help to write the manifesto. That's why RICO charges need to be looked at. But black people are so, yeah, the shooter made it about race. That's right. But the minute we not getting shot up, the minute it's like, because it seems like lately niggas are getting killed by some white boy once a month out here now. But let's all pay attention. What's today? Today is what, Wednesday? It's either Wednesday night, Thursday morning, depending on where you are in this country. Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Let's pay attention. Say, let's check back. Say next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, let's check back in. Let's check back in, and I want y'all to remind me. We probably ain't gotta wait that long. Probably wait till next Monday. Let's check back in. What's going to be the hot topic amongst black people? Is it going to be protecting ourselves from the next mass shooter? Is it going to be how to maybe get the message out to our elders that they're the primary targets of these white supremacists? Is it gonna be how do we protect our children? Or is the topic of conversation going to be whoever drops an album between now and then? Is it going to be the NBA playoffs? Is it going to be what's let's just pay attention. What's going to be the topic of conversation next Monday? Playoffs or protecting ourselves from the next white supremacist attack? Let's all put a stopwatch in. And I'm serious, I want you niggas to remind me next Monday. I'm not even gonna wait till Wednesday. Next Monday. Or anytime I go on live after next Sunday. But the next time I go live after next Sunday, I want y'all to be up in here like, hey, Dwan, AD, is we talking about the shooter and what we gonna do, or is we talking about the playoffs? And there's nothing wrong with talking about the playoffs, as long as the playoffs ain't the only conversation. You know what I mean? Because I'm definitely gonna talk shit about the playoffs, but we can talk about Steph Curry versus Luka Doncic, and then when the game is over with, we can then transition to okay, so what are we going to do to defend ourselves from the next mass shooter? This nigga said no, it's gonna be the Will Smith slap. Yeah, that shooter's family should be in jail. So should the other white boy's family, one that shot up in Minnesota. Yeah, yeah, that's a good comment, Mark G. Yeah, we know he wasn't a lone wolf. Like, who helped him write that? Who helped him write that manifesto, or who wrote it? Did he write it, or did he ghostwrite it? Those should be the questions we should be asking. Yeah, yeah, we should be getting a hate crime bill. Oh yeah, that shit was fun on Craig Face yesterday. Biden didn't talk about tangibles for black people after that attack because Joe Biden is a bitch. Joe Biden is a bitch. Yeah. Joe Biden is a man. You know, they talking about they released that UFO story. And that's another thing, the UFOs. Let me tell you something. Nigga, the Hoteps, quote unquote, been talking about UFOs. I remember my whole goddamn life. I've always believed UFOs existed. I've never believed that lie they don't. But they tell us all the time, man, that UFO talk, man, that shit conspiracy. That shit conspiracy. That's what the government would always say. Now that the government is saying, yeah, it's UFOs like a motherfucker. Ain't nobody going around talking about, man, I'm sorry for saying that shit was conspiracy. That's why you can't get government. Why did I bring up the UFOs? Or why am I responding to the UFO comment? Because some of y'all in y'all 20s and 30. Oh, shit. That was a good hit. Ooh, that was a good hit. But some of y'all in y'all 20s and 30s. So y'all haven't seen enough revolutions of this shit happen. The government don't never tell the fucking truth about it. Goddamn thing. If the government is coming out saying resoundingly we didn't do this, it's a good chance that's exactly what the fuck they doing. And all the people who defend what the government say gonna go right along with it. I talked about this before, but I'm gonna talk about it again. But the Matrix. Press number one in here if you've seen the Matrix. I'm sure all of you seen the Matrix. Y'all ain't even gotta press number one. I'm sure all y'all seen the Matrix. Well, most of y'all at least. What is the Matrix about? What's the Matrix about? The Matrix. See, the Matrix was about a few things. It had a few things. But let's talk about some of the things in the Matrix. One, the whole point of the story of Neo. Neo is you. Me, you, I, me, the I am. Neo, if you watch that movie from the aspect of Neo, it's telling you about yourself. Everyone is the one, if but they can only be the one if they know it. You can't believe it, you can't think it, you can't guess it, you can only be the one if you know. You gotta have an inner knowing that you're the one. That's one thing the Matrix was telling you. Another thing the Matrix was telling you, another thing that the Matrix was telling you was when you see the people out there, who was Agent Smith? Agent Smith is the masses. That's why Agent Smith kept changing and morphing into other people. That's what they're trying to point out. He'll be the bum in the motherfucking subway station. Agent Smith would be the person at Starbucks ordering coffee. Agent Smith is most people, the 8 out of 10, the 90%, the people who believe whatever the fuck the media tell them. If you know somebody that votes blue no matter who, that's Agent Smith. If you know a Republican that's diehard Republican, that's Agent Smith. If you know people that like actually look at the top 10 charts and say, hey, that song was the best song because it went number one, that's Agent Smith. All these go along to get along, do as you say, do as you told, ass niggas. Them niggas is all Agent Smith. And you, when you aren't sure who you are, when you're not grounded in yourself, fighting the Agent Smith is impossible. That's why Neo and the rest of them kept getting their ass whooped when they fought the Agent Smiths. Because a person that's not totally grounded in them knowing who they are. That's why the number one rule in life is know yourself. If you're not grounded in that, you can't beat these Agent Smiths. There's too many of these motherfuckers. These motherfucking Agent Smith ass niggas, they are full of righteous indignation. These motherfuckers got a whole system backing what they believe to be true. You got a few books you read, a few documentaries you watched, a few family stories passed down. These motherfuckers got CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, HBO movies telling them that the illusion that they believe in is the truth. So that's who Agent Smith is. Only way to beat and kick Agent Smith's ass is to be totally rooted and grounded in yourself and know who you are. When you know who you are, then these Agent Smith motherfuckers is light work. They ain't shit to deal with. But that only comes when you know who you are. When you're not grounded in that, these Agent Smiths can be too much. And that was one of the messages in the Matrix. The Matrix had a lot of messages, but that was one of the messages. One, know who you are. If you don't believe it, it ain't true. That's what the Oracle was telling the motherfucker. Oh, he ain't it. Why ain't he ain't? Because he don't believe he is. He don't believe it. So he ain't gonna be it. So all you motherfuckers that go around looking for approval from other people through how you dress, through how much you smile and kiki with them and caca, you ain't the one. You gotta be you. You gotta be you and know who you are. And everyone else who believe what they hear all the time, these niggas that think Jay-Z's actually doing good by the black community just because he has $1 million, that's Agent Smith. You dig? So let me see what y'all talking about. He said, anyone that's brainwashed. Yep. So just always know that. You're right, Punk Monk. Some people do prefer illusion. And that's fine. And you know how I look at it? I don't judge it. Like, I'm going to crack jokes on it because, hey, I like to laugh. I crack jokes to make me laugh. But at the end of the day, I used to be very judgmental towards it. But when you realize everybody on this earth is here to play their role, and that role that they playing is connected to their higher soul, and that shit ain't got nothing to do with me. Now, if you come, if them playing out their little illusion intrudes on mine, then no, no, no. Then now we got a problem. But if they stay over there, I stay over here, and they in their little world all the way bought into the illusion, I let it go. It is what it is. Again, like I said, I will crack jokes. I have a lot of fun talking shit to these liberal-minded niggercrats. That's what I call them. These Negrocrats. They ain't Democrats. These Negrocrats. They're fun to talk about. Them niggas look silly as hell. They all bought up into the illusion, and it's like watching a 50-year-old. Uh, it's like watching a 50-year-old color with crayons outside the lines. That shit's funny as hell. Like you see. So yeah, I'm gonna talk some shit. Why not? But at the same time, I'm a Gemini. I can do two things at once. I'm gonna talk some shit, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna respect it. It is what it is. It is what it is. Frank Green said red pill means something different than them days. You right about that? Yeah. Like some people do just want to party. You know what I mean? Look, everybody ain't gonna make it, and that's fine. That's fine. It's all whenever there's remember this, bad people. Anytime there's been a revolution in any kind of change, revolutions are brought on by the focused, small minority critical mass. That's where revolution takes place by the minority, by a determined minority. It's never no kind of revolution is everybody. All revolutions, most people, most of the citizenry, most of them were just comfortable with where they were. Yes, they were slaves, but at least I have just look at Europe. Europeans were enslaving each other for thousands of years. They was enslaving each other during the Hellenistic period. Rome somewhat civilized them. And they was right back to enslaving each other from the collapse of Rome till basically 300 years ago. 200 years ago, in a lot of cases. It was a small critical mass that revolutionized the United States. Most of them motherfuckers weren't trying to break away from King George. Go back and study the American Revolution. Most of them motherfuckers weren't trying to listen to no rotten tooth ass General George Washington. They were like, yeah, these motherfuckers tax us a lot. Yeah, they don't deserve the money, but at least I'm over here and not in Europe. It was 3%, 3 to 5% of them motherfuckers that said, fuck this shit. The Civil War was fought by 10% of the population engaged in the Civil War. The Civil Rights Movement were a focused group of people in a bunch of small towns around Black America. It's never everybody. So stop thinking about that shit. Everybody don't matter. If they're not in tune with it, fuck them. Let them niggas eat marshmallows and drink red, big red soda and watch the last season of Maury Povich. That's fine. That's what they want to do. They want to eat marshmallows, drink Big Red, and watch the last season of Maury and not think about racism. Fine. Just don't defend them niggas when shit happens to them. It's like, oh, you have to keep your energy for the people who are on the same mental wavelength as you. They're not on your wavelength. If they're not on your vibration, don't waste energy on it. Made me realize that. Oh, happy birthday, Malcolm X. What made me realize that, y'all? What's up, George? What made me realize that? Work your mental health. You get a lot of wisdom when you work mental health, and a lot of fucking gray chin hair, and you really don't want kids like me. Work your mental health as long as I did. I worked in the pits of South Central LA for 10 years at this one particular job. I've always worked in South Central LA with kids in various positions, sometimes basketball coach, sometimes tutor, sometimes mentor. But there was this one job I had in the 2010s from 2009 to 2019. And in that job, I worked for a mental health agency. And my area was South Central LA, downtown to the north, Compton to the south and to the east, Inglewood to the west, and like the jungles, that whole area. So I had clients in the Nickerson Gardens. I had clients in the Imperial Courts. That's where they filmed Menace to Society. I had clients in the Pueblos. I had clients, if you're from LA, you know what I'm talking about. The Jordan Downs. I had them in Watts. I had them in Willowbrook. I had them in in East Coast Hood. I had them in BPS Hood, 60s Hood, whatever hood you want to name. I had clients. And working mental health all those time with them, I focused on boys. I worked with girls too, but my focus was boys. And you would see the condition of a child, and then you would see the condition of the family. And you had some families that had our mental health services because they were going through a rough patch. But mom and dad, if he was around, they had an interest and they bought in. And I'm making a bigger point here, so listen. They bought into the betterment of the child. And then you had other children, you can see the magic in this child, you can see the greatness in this child. But mom was too occupied. She was too busy talking on her phone. I had this one kid, and it was funny. They stayed literally in the same apartment building I stayed in when I was like 3 or 4 years old, on 71st and Western. They stayed in the apartment just below the one that I lived in when as a child. So it was just nostalgic being in that building because my first memories as a child was in that building. This little kid had PlayStation and Xbox, had the games. He'd have a pair of Jordans and a pair of LeBrons and like multiple colorways, but he didn't get his mom's attention. So I remember one time I'm counseling the boy, and we talking to mom about doing things with him, and he's like, "She ain't gonna do it. She ain't gonna do it." We like, young man, I'm not gonna say his name because of HIPAA violations. So I'm gonna use the word young man. I'm gonna use young man. That wasn't his name. Of course, that wasn't his name, but you know the point. And I'm like, young man, your mom, no, we talking about you coming together, you guys getting on the same page, yada yada yada. And he like, she ain't gonna do it. So we get going and we talking some more, and her phone keeps ringing. But every time her phone rings, she checks it. So she had checked the phone maybe about 6 or 7 times. Like the last time she checked it, she picked it up. That little boy stood up and said, and that's why she ain't gonna do it. She she cared more about that phone than she do me. This bitch don't give a fuck about me. Nigga, do you know, as big as I am, calm as I am, do you know how hard it was to not break down? And when I saw that, I don't know how I didn't break down. Nigga, my heart dropped to my ankle when that happened. And mind you, at that job, I would have sessions like this. Stuff like this would happen monthly. I mean, situations where you working with moms and they don't give a fuck about them boys. Why am I saying all this? I'm saying this to say that the reason why I've been able to last so long working in mental health and working in different fields was because I knew how the only way I can keep my heart space open, and the only way I can continue what I do is if I give the energy to those who need it. Because when you dump all of your energy into people who won't even try, that's where you get burnt out. That's where you get fucked up, and that's where you get heartbroken. You got to understand and recognize when someone's not willing to help themselves, you just have to shut up. If they're not willing, you can throw the information out there, throw the knowledge out there, but if they want to say, "Oh, you just hating," or "Why you gotta talk about all that black stuff?" You gotta just leave them alone. You don't worry about them because if you do, you're going to take this from by experience. You're going to get drained and heartbroken. Conversely, if you save that energy for those who need it, for those who want it, then it puts a battery in you and it gives you more energy to keep pushing. You see how that works? When you wait, when you do things like this, when you do it for the right people, and that whether that be helping people out or the whole racial situation and being on code with black people, when you when you when you spend your energy being on code and focusing on other people who are on code, it gives you more energy to keep pushing. But if you spend all day talking about the people who ain't on code, if you spend all day running around saying, well, what about the people who wear Jordans all day? What are they? You're just gonna burn yourself out and you're gonna mentally fuck yourself. Fuck your bitch, not yourself. Take that quote. See how that worked? Yeah, you gotta save your own. So, so that's how that shit go. When like, you could just find like-minded people online because honestly, when you building, you ain't got time to be hanging out anyway. Really, when I look at me, it's like-minded people here in LA, but shit, I don't kick it with them. I be home. I be when you really focus on what you're doing, you ain't really got time to hang out anyway. So just you know, get in online communities of like-minded people. Cause I know some of y'all live in New York, and this is no disrespect to the immigrants. This is not to say there are not on cold immigrants. This is not to say that. But what I am saying is a majority of immigrants are not on cold. So if you're in New York, it's gonna be kind of hard to find on cold people. If you're like in Seattle, it's gonna be. I got a homeboy up in Seattle. You're in Seattle, Denver, those places like interracial sex that is the code up there in Seattle and Denver. It's gonna be hard to find people on code. So if you're in one of them kind of places, then yeah, you just might have to get online to find people that are on code. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, most people in the chat room here are on code. Yeah, that's why I like fucking with y'all. You know what I mean? I don't need the whole. I don't need. I don't care about mainstream access. I realized about 9, 10 years ago that I wasn't gonna be good for the mainstream. I realized that about 9, 10 years ago when I used to tell jokes in Hollywood and they used to cringe. When I would talk about President Obama, the audience would be laughing. The comedy club managers and bookers, they be the one cringing. Nigga, the audience be dying laughing. When I saw that shit wasn't gonna fly, I said, you know what? I'm going to have to find another way. Hmm. Yeah, you're right. A lot of majority immigrants are probably off code. But and think about that. I'm not even mad at immigrants for being off code. Just stop lying. Because think about this shit. Okay, you in some other country, right? You go through all these steps to leave where you were born, the land of your ancestors. You go and you fill out this immigration paperwork. You go through all these interviews. You literally go through the process of uprooting your whole life to move to a whole different hemisphere, to move to a whole different piece of land. Mind you, you know what you know about this land. This is the same land that bombed your country 40 years ago and or they put economic sanctions on your country, or they don't allow your country to produce certain things to keep it poor. You know this shit. You know this. And you still go through the process of coming here. Logically, you're not going to do that and then side with the people that country oppresses. Everybody naturally wants to side with a winner. And right now, white supremacy is winning. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Call it what you want. I don't call it white supremacy. I call it white fragility. Well, white fragility is winning then, nigga. Wherever you want to call it. You don't go through that whole process to side with these niggas that said, I will burn this whole motherfucker down if you don't get. You did not leave. You did not fly and get on a boat and go 2,000 miles across the ocean to help some niggas burn down where you came to immigrate to. That's not going to happen. So for that reason, you can expect a 9 out of 10 immigrants to be off code. They didn't come over here to kick it with us. These people didn't give a fuck that these white boys fuck their home country up. They don't care. So that's how you gotta look at it. Yeah, AJ Jimerson, I'm gonna come out there. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a show in Dallas, probably like in September. You come on out to. I'm gonna do a stand up show, probably like in September in Dallas. Yeah, California is very diverse and racist. You're right. We can go to their countries and do this shit. Frank, I'm gonna do Dallas. I want to do Houston. Well, because Larry's in Houston, but Larry, I was like, he's like, no, we're gonna do Dallas. So shit, when I do my Dallas show, come on up. It's only a 3.5 hour drive. Catch that Flix bus, that mega bus y'all got in Dallas. Well, it's better than whatever that is better than Greyhound. Yeah. Yeah, you see Nike backing off Kyrie. You see Brooklyn saying they don't want to re-sign him. When he should be getting a supermax deal, he's probably going to sign from somewhere else for half of his value. And I guarantee you, they're going to put Kyrie in a situation that he cannot win a championship. Wherever Kyrie goes, the NBA, it's going to be somewhere like Kyrie probably should go to Miami. And I'm sure Miami has a salary cap space to sign him, but NBA ain't letting that happen. When I come to the UK, shit, I would love to come to the UK. Hit up one of them UK promoters and let them, hit my honorarium, then I'll be out there in the UK. If you can find a promoter in the UK that'll pay my. I always laugh when I say that. I see that shit because when you're in entertainment, it's your booking fee. When you're a preacher or some fucking weird ass minister, it's an honorarium. That shit. Oh, my bad. That shit funny to me. When your preacher go, when you at church on Sunday, your pastor say that he preached at some other church last week on a Wednesday night or on a Friday night service. That nigga was paid an honorarium. When your stand-up comedian got booked at the Improv, he got a booking fee. When when your favorite spiritual teacher came to town, he got an honorarium. You're right. I'm glad Kyrie got his money in the ship already. Yeah, they're about to really attack that man. Incense and ashtrays. Go and get that Kendrick Lamar breakdown I did. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Mixcloud. I broke down. I broke down Kendrick Lamar's newest album. I did a retro breakdown of Ice Cube's Death Certificate. Go back and listen to that. I broke down Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life. Go and listen to that. Nigga, Mixcloud. I appreciate that, Jay Jimerson. Yeah. Hell yeah. American Gods. That shit was real, Frank Green. Yeah. You right, especially the first two seasons with Orlando Jones on it. See, American Gods, they made it cheesy that last couple seasons. But American Gods was a show that was telling you, uh, it was a lot of your ancient spiritual beings, you know, updated to today, and they had these things. Like I think it was season 2 when you saw the old gods, and it was actually throughout the show American Gods. There was always a battle between the old gods and the new gods, and I think that what that was an allegory for what's going on right now on Earth with old money and new money. Old money, the Rothschilds, the Warren Buffett money, that's old money. The new money is Mark Zuckerberg, um, Elon Musk. You see the motherfuckers trying to buy Twitter, and there's like a battle going on right now between that old money and this new money. I think that was an allegory that American Gods was running with. Yeah, they put America Orlando Jones because he was too real for that. He was too real. Yeah, them shows like that. Look, this shit is deep, man. Like, let me tell y'all something about media. With media, America's magic trick. America's an illusion. Like we all know, we understand that American is illusion. A magic show is an illusion. Question: what is the one thing a magician must always do in order for his trick to work? That's a question for y'all. What is the one thing a magician has to do every time to make his magic trick work? How does he pull off the illusion? The distraction's the second part. What's the thing he does? What's the thing the magician does before the distraction? What is the thing the magician does before he distracts you? I'll give y'all one more shot. The magician always does one thing before he distracts you. Nope, 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 nope. Let me tell you, the magician first tells you what he's going to do. Message. Think about it. The first thing he does is tell you what he's going to do. After he tells you what he's going to do, he then distracts you. Those were good answers, but we got to put things in order. One, two, three. The first thing is he's telling you what he's going to do. So, the United States of America, we all agree, it's an illusion. All this whole reality we live in is an illusion. It's a distraction. The card for the United States of America is a Jack of Diamonds. Jack of Diamonds, it's a performance card. How does America tell you what it's going to do? Answer that question. How does America first tell you what it's going to do? What means do they use to tell you what they're going to do? Think about it. Media, that's close. Media close, but give it a little more specific. Get a little more. What kind of media? Twitter, news, social media, no. School, that's later. Nope. The first thing, the way this is how they do it. They tell you what they're going to do through the movies. That means the media, movies. Usually in your sci-fi movies. Usually How America works is they tell you what they're going to do next through the movies. They tell you exactly what's coming. They use the media to distract you from what's coming. The media is the distraction, telling you, look over here, look over here, look over here. The laws are the action. Check? Yes, before Barack Obama got in office, you had Morgan Freeman playing president, you had Chris Rock playing president. So when you look at movies, when you're looking at and then not only do movies tell you what's coming, they also tell you how to free yourself. If you The Matrix was a movie about how to free yourself from this illusion, from this matrix, from their control. Because at the end of the day, their control only exists if we believe it. Their control, their power, only works if everyone believes it works. The Matrix was telling you how to get out of it. X-Men, yes, they're ancient. Look, this is where the hotel community comes short. They cats, and I love my cats, but they will tell you this, that those X-Men movies, DC Comics, Marvel Comics, those are all movies about the ancient gods, the black gods. And then, of course, Disney and Marvel, they play with it. They have white people play these gods and Middle Easterners. Those, so what happened is, we as a people, us knowing that those were the gods, we'll get distracted and not watch it because they made the god a white woman, or they made the god an Indian man, or a gay person, like they did with the fucking Eternals. And they do that on purpose. They do that, one, because it reinforces whiteness. Two, they know it'll piss us off and make us miss the whole fucking message. Who were the gods? Even if you take it back to the old ancient Egyptian times, the gods were all aspects of us, who we are inside of us. You're Osiris, you're Hathor, you're Isis, you're Zeus if you're Greek, or Ra if you're Egyptian. These are all aspects of you. So when you watch an X-Men, when you watch a Marvel comic in Eternal, and you see these, whether it be Wolverine or Cyclops or whatever Marvel character, Batman, Robin, these characters are all allegories for the powers that we all have. We know having like, what Storm can do is different than what Wolverine can do. So like, I know my power. My power is in my ability to disseminate information and teach. I know that about myself. That's why I'm so confident. I don't guess this about me. I know that. I know that's my superpower. Your superpower may be hands. Some of you motherfuckers got mental. You motherfuckers can. There's some niggas that are just born cock strong, and can knock out a goddamn police officer with a helmet on. Some of you thick knuckle niggas. Your power might be in teaching the community defense and showing defense. The next person's power is in their analytical skills to break down data and explain data. And everybody has a superpower. And that's what these comic books are there to tell you. That's the magic trick. They're telling you how to free yourself. Because when you back an animal into the corner to a corner and don't give you any other recourse, it's going to strike back with the most fierce strike back you can give it. The last thing a country needs is the number one threat to any country is internal destabilization. That's another thing people gotta remember about black people when we talk about reparations and like they ain't gonna give us no reparations. No, nigga. The number one threat to any nation is internal destabilization. So the nation and an oppressive system always has to give you an out. They gotta tell you how to break out of the bullshit. They just won't highlight the exit. They'll put it out there. It's on you to break that shit down and figure it out and see it and see what it's talking about. And that's how this country works. You can see what this country's doing, like the movie Distinguished Gentleman by Eddie Murphy. You cannot find that movie streaming anywhere. You gotta order the DVD. I ordered the DVD about a year ago because I saw nobody had it streaming. So I was like, oh, they're about to really push this movie out. Order the Distinguished Gentleman by Eddie Murphy. That movie told you exactly how politics works. Trading Places by Eddie Murphy. It told you how the wealthy play with our lives with petty decisions. They were telling you what it was. Nigga, go and watch what was that show with Frank Underwood and his wife? Well, you know with what's his name? Frank Underwood. I'm trying to blame to the show. It was on Netflix. It was Frank Underwood, his devious ass wife, a white bitch. What was the name of that show on Netflix? What was the name of that show? House of Cards. House of Cards shows you what the Trump presidency was. The Trump presidency, you House of Cards shows you what the Trump presidency was going to be about. That's what that show did. Veep on HBO showed you about Kamala Harris. Julia Dreyfus is playing some Veep. The president don't even fuck with her. She's always fucking up. She's thinking it's going to be one thing, and it's being something else. Go back and watch that show Veep on HBO. All right, man, have a good one. Go back and watch Veep on HBO and put that next to Kamala Harris's presidency. They tell you what they gonna do. Yeah, secession and billions. Yep. What's up, Star? Star in the chat room. She over here. I didn't even see Star chat. She's over there blocking people like the Kimbe Matumbo. Star didn't even say what's up, Star. I didn't know Star was even in the room. She just came with the Kimbe Matumbo. Yaka, get out of here. What's up, Mir 2500? Yeah, Star came out of nowhere. It was one of the moves, you know what I mean? Like that play in the finals last year with Giannis. Nigga thought he had an open dunk, and then Giannis just came over. Yaka. That's what Star just did. She wagged her finger. But know that. Look, when you watch movies, watch it for fun one time, and then watch it again and decode the movie. What is this? Especially if you're watching a sci-fi movie. If you're watching sci-fi, if you're watching comic book films, if you're watching like the heist, like not heist, but like those like movies like Enemy of the State, that's kind of sci-fi. They tell you these motherfuckers tell you what they doing. They do. You just gotta watch this shit with your third eye. See, this is where we gotta go with black people. We gotta stop being afraid of ourselves. and who we are on a spiritual level. That shouldn't be a taboo subject. You know what I mean? You got to know all these things are true. You exist on here on Earth, and you got to deal with earthly shit. Nigga, grab your motherfucking whoopty whamps if you know what I'm talking about, and keep them clean and keep them clipped up. But at the same time, you got to know who you are on a deeper level than that, and you got to access that when you're looking at Earth, when you're looking at what's going on here. Movies aren't there just to make you laugh. Movies aren't there just to entertain you. Movies only entertain dummies. Don't be a dummy. Like, watch the movie and it's be a dummy one time. Look, nothing wrong with being a dummy. Watch a movie one time and just laugh your ass off and be entertained. Have a good time, eat popcorn, drink some Hennessy, smoke some weed, do what the fuck you do. But then watch that shit again, real slow. Watch Inception. Inception is teaching you how they put shit in your mind. It's telling you how the whole brain works. Yes, Inception is slow and long, but watch Inception and watch that shit with your third eye and understand why you think certain thoughts that you don't even know where the fuck you got them from. They use, except for the way America uses TV commercials for Inception. That's what our commercials are for. Commercials are Inception, real fast. We're gonna flash these images in front of your eye. And so even if you're watching this shit on mute, we're going to connect joy with our product. We're going to draw a connection to your brain. And I watch TV on mute. You'll see a lot when you see the shit on mute, especially TV commercials. TV commercials are created to incept your pleasure centers with a product for sale, or or your safety. They attack your fear and sell safety. That's what TV. All this shit is working your mind. Yeah. Say that again, HBK Theezy. You right. Don't, nigga. Do not sleep with that TV on. I used to do that. Back when I used to sleep with that TV on, nigga, that was also when I was voting Democrat and saying, see, things will change. If black people just vote, man, we'll be all right. See, I've always cared about black people. I've never been the person that cooned out. I've always loved black people and cared about black people. I just used to be the nigga that thought, voting Democrat and gun control was the way to get us out. But that was also back in the days when I used to sleep with my fucking TV on. I stopped sleeping with my TV on shit 10, 15 years ago. Man, light bill ain't shit. Abe, I, I used to be that same way. Abe couldn't sleep with the TV off. Man, find a way. Or if you're gonna keep the TV on, nigga, go on YouTube and get some of that music at 432 hertz. That sleeping meditation music with some positive affirmations at 432 hertz. Turn that shit on your TV and go to sleep to that. Just don't go to sleep because I don't know if you niggas is too maybe be too young to know about this, but if you're in your 40s, you know what I'm talking about. You be coming home to the club from the club, going to sleep, and you hear Billy Mays here for the Rock'em Sock'em Whammy Demi Towel. Hi, I'm Billy Mays. Y'all remember that that white boy with the beard? And then like he just like randomly died like on a fight or something like that. But I remember shit. If you coming home from a club in 2000, 2001, you be out there, turn the TV on, get in the bed, and all you hear is, I'm Billy Mays. Yeah. You said thunderstorms and Tiberian bowls. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, rainbows. That's the shit. Or the 400 Club. I think you are not lying. Nigga, the 400. I remember when I was a kid and I would see like the 400 Club on the Guide TV Guide Network. I thought that was a kid show. I remember thinking like, I want to see the 400 Club. I'm thinking that shit gonna have like puppets. I'm thinking it's gonna have like Muppets and trains like Mister Rogers. I'm thinking 400 Club. I'm thinking they're gonna have like Muppets and a whole bunch of fun stuff. Nigga, I remember turning to that shit and it was some old ass white man preaching. I was mad as hell. Man, I thought I had like another version of Fraggle Rock or some shit to watch. I remember thinking like, man, 400 Club, that shit sound like Fraggle Rock. And I really thought that I was about to watch some fun shit. But it was some old ass white man preaching. Oh yeah, 700 Club. Yeah, 700 Club. Yeah, I thought it was Sesame Street, Jay Jimerson. Yeah, 700 Club. 400 Club, 700 Club, same shit. Nigga, I looked. I was like, 700 Club? That sounds like the better version of Reading Rainbow. Nigga, hell yeah. You said CDs and 80s movies wake you up? Yeah, like me, I like listen to the jazz. Like I honestly, that's what I meditate to. I was actually talking about meditation recently. Like meditation ain't no scary thing. Like meditation don't have to be you sitting with your fucking legs crossed and your in the lotus position and you going hum hum. And if that was meditation, nigga, I'd never meditate. Like nigga, you can have this shit, God. I'm gonna talk to myself. I'm gonna talk to you later. If that's how I had to meditate, nigga, hell nah. Nigga, you can meditate jazz. You can meditate to any, you can meditate to Erica Badu if you want to. You just want to make sure whatever music you meditating to, that it has natural live instrumentation and it's speaking something positive. It's speaking something that you want to hear, something that's going to uplift you. If you want to meditate, and this may sound corny, but I'm telling you, niggas, this shit work. If you one of them depressed, or if you one of them motherfuckers that think that you ain't gonna never find love, and love is beyond you, nigga, a lot of the best love music was made in the '80s. Nigga, sit your ass down and turn on some '80s love music, some motherfucking Rick James, Fire and Desire, but like Luther Vandross and all that shit, and just zone out to it, and just zone out to it, and do this shit daily. Your favorite songs. You ain't even gotta find the new songs. Your favorite songs that talk about love, and just sit your phone down. Don't be tweeting this shit while you doing this. Just play your music and lay there and let the music take control of you. Let the music and watch your mindset change. And as your mindset changes, you attract. As you vibrate on a higher level, you attract whatever's on that vibration. That's just the way the law of attraction works. That shit works all through your energy vibration. So whatever energy vibration you want to be on, nigga, meditate to any music talking about that. Hell, if you really want to be on your materialism shit, I ain't gonna trip. If you really want to be on your money shit, you can meditate to Jay-Z. One thing Jay-Z, this is what Jay-Z does great. This is where I can't take anything from Jay-Z. Like, I don't like what he does politically. I don't like how he does niggas. You know, I don't like that. But let me tell you what Jay-Z does. Jay-Z calls things into being. When he raps, Jay-Z tells you how to perceive himself. Him. He tells you he's the God. He walks, he walks and reminds you every song how many albums he sold, how much money he has, why he dresses better than you, why he gets better girls than you do. He reminds you who he is every song. What that is, what that repetitive is, he's literally casting a spell on people who listen to him to believe that he's that. But if you listen to that same music and you meditate and zone out to that and you see yourself as that, and I mean really zone out to it. I ain't talking about you niggas talking about, man, that bar was better than this bar. And the man, the nigga had a bar. And then fuck the bar. I mean really fall in sync with the music. You'll get that energy vibration. But that's how music works. Shit, if you want some love music to meditate to, shit, just play the I Want You album or and then back to the I Want You album and the Let's Get It On album. Just loop those albums back to back and zone out to that shit. You're gonna be in some pussy in no time, nigga. But, but that's what Jay Z does. Jay Z teaches you how to cast a big shadow. Now you may not be that, but if that shadow's big enough, you can make a lot of people believe it. That's what Jay Z does. I'll give him credit for that. I don't believe the illusion that he cast out. I see right through that shit. I see the man, but his fans see the shadow. But his fans see that shadow because he point them to that. But Jay Z also tells you his magic trick. What did he say? I could rap like common sense, but that wouldn't make me no sense. He telling you, I could give you the game. I'm smart enough. I could put these bars together to tell you what you really need to hear, but you niggas won't buy it. So I'm gonna give you this bullshit. Jay Z told you what he's doing. But the niggas that see him as a god don't see that. They just think it was a bar. No, he's telling you, I am feeding you bullshit because I want to make all the money I can make. He's telling you, if you want some real shit, go listen to Comment. I'm feeding you that bullshit. That's why I'm not mad at Jay Z. Jay Z told you exactly what he's doing. I'm not giving you the real shit because it ain't gonna make me the money. If you want the real shit, go listen to Comment. And he was right because that was right around the same time. What album was that came out around the same time? Like Water for Chocolate. That album was dope. Or was that the B album? Yeah. So that's really what it come down to. It. Yeah. Let me tell you something about Rose. I don't respect him taking the real Rick Ross's name. I don't respect him being a correctional officer, acting like he dealt drugs. I, but nigga, Rose makes some fire ass music. Nigga, like, I love listening to Rick Ross. I can't stand that motherfucker. I used to run across them All-Star Weekend every year. It seemed like for like 7 years in a row, I was walking in the club either just ahead of Rick Ross or right behind Rick Ross. And we just always happened to be in the same club on the same night and getting there at the same time. This happened like 7 years ago in a row, like All Star Weekend. It would either be the Players Union party, the Michael Jordan party, one of them parties. Don't like them. We never had any negative interactions, but I didn't like, from the energy. I don't like nothing about his get down. I don't like anything about his get down. But that nigga makes dope ass music, nigga. When 16 ain't enough, nigga, come on. Yeah. Teflon Don, hell yeah, nigga. So, one thing about Bronny and a white girl, nothing. Like, that boy's raised around white girls. So, I don't expect anything different. His dad moved to Beverly Hills, not Ladera Heights. It's a lot of black money in Ladera Heights. I mean, you have a good one. It's a lot of money it's a lot of black neighborhoods and money in LA. He didn't move to one of them neighborhoods. He moved to Beverly Hills. And so let me tell you something. And this is why I never got on Kobe for being with a Latin chick because she looked a lot like an Italian. Kobe was in Italy when he was 12, 13, 14. Let me tell you something that but I saw when I used to be in anthropology class. Anthropology was my minor. But I remember we did a study on marriage and race, like who someone was most likely to marry. And what we found what you find when you look at the studies on marriage and race, when you look deeper, usually the person marrying the opposite race, what you find in most cases is they lived around that population at the time of puberty. You can look this shit up. You guys can look this up. I haven't looked it up in a long time, so I can't tell you exactly where. But I remember studying this shit in college, and I remember still and kind of stand up on it. Meaning, if you were born and you lived, you say you may have been born in a black neighborhood, but say at the age of 7 or 8 or 9, you moved to the white neighborhood. And when you each reach puberty, 12, 13, 14, whatever age that is, when you start going through puberty, the girls that are in your immediate environment are the girls you're most likely to be attracted to the rest of your life. That's how attraction generally works. So when you see people, black people, who were raised in other people's neighborhoods, now if you have strong parental guidance on the matters of race, that can help. If you have parents that regularly take these black children around their people, that can help. But if their whole world is white, 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 and their association of black is their poor cousins that they have to go see when it's grandmama's on Thanksgiving when they go see grandmama. Now they got to see all their poor cousins that live in the ghetto, along with a media that going back to Inception, along with the media that shows blackness with a one-to-one connection of poverty, degeneracy, fighting, thought behavior. Going back to media and Inception, see all this shit when I teach, all this shit ties in together. Ain't none of this is separate. It all plays a part. So going back to Bronny, Bronny's in a white environment. When he reaches puberty, he's at Sierra Canyon, white school. Before that, he was at the other school in Ohio, white school. He's most likely going to be attracted to white girls, probably for the rest of his life. The same way Kobe was attracted to Italian chicks. I know a lady who used to be Kobe's security guard, and she was like, "Man, Kobe, every road trip they went on, this motherfucker had to have an Italian hooker, allegedly." This is what I heard from a security guard, but it made sense. He was in Italy when his nuts dropped. So I said all that to say that's another reason why I don't get all the way into. I don't really judge kids. I don't really look at it because when you look at it closely, when you look at it when you pull yourself out of the social construct and look at it from a scientific point of view, it makes sense. Bronny is with a white girl. His environment is white. What's up, Quan? So I expect that. This nigga said Bronny ain't going to Howard. Ha. See now, if Bronny went to Howard, with him being around primarily black women, well, no, if he's on the basketball team, he'll be around the white women. Nah, he ain't gonna know Howard. My favorite bass guitarist, Thundercat, Larry Graham, Bootsy Collins, Verdine White, Thunder Thumbs, Lewis Johnson, rest in peace. Lewis Johnson made the Thriller album. People don't understand. Thriller and Off the Wall would not have been nearly as good if it weren't for Lewis Johnson. Niggas gotta know that. Billie Jean, that bass walk, that's funk, nigga. That's a level of funk that you only gonna get from Lewis Johnson. You're not gonna get that Billie Jean bass line from any old mamby-pamby basses. You only getting that level of groove from Lewis Johnson. Lewis Johnson was so important to Michael Jackson's career. Frank Green, we don't have to act. This isn't, look, LA ain't Houston. And he ain't even in LA. He go to Sierra Canyon. He lives in Beverly Hills and goes to Sierra Canyon. He's not around black people. I can tell you right now, outside of a few people, his immediate circle, LeBron's not around many black people. Like I know, I've run across LeBron well over 15 times in my time around the NBA. I've run across LeBron a lot. All these publicists, all of the money people, all them motherfuckers is there. All the people at Nike, all the people coordinating where he goes. Because you gotta realize somebody at LeBron's level, LeBron is on schedule, man. That's a busy man. Y'all, LeBron ain't got much time to himself. Between all of his sponsorships, your sponsorships come with committed things you have to do. LeBron is around he 95% of the people with LeBron and all them NBA niggas is around is white people. NBA what NBA niggas are around white people. They're not around us. Like NBA niggas doing an 82 game season, they don't have the time to even be around their friends. An NBA season is long, and I'm not gonna do it again. I did it on my last live. Well, YouTube took it down because I was playing some music in the background. But the NBA schedule, them niggas ain't got no time for themselves. They're around. The only niggas they're around is the other players, a couple assistant coaches. When they at home, they homeboys from that they grew up with, and that's it. And most of them niggas is dumb. They just there to floss and be seen. NBA niggas is around white people, and so are they kids. So are they kids. Mm. Somebody said, "Don't make black men your priority." No, 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 that's BS. Because at the end of the day, black people still date black people. Here's the black people. Let's take a second. Let's moonwalk real quick. Let's moonwalk real quick. Look around. Who are the people marrying outside their race the most? Fucking Asians and white people. I don't know how it is in y'all cities. Everywhere you look out here in LA on the West Coast, it's a white man married to an Asian woman. Asian men don't even get married. Don't nobody want Asian men. Them motherfuckers. Out here in LA, I be seeing Asian men and Mexican women, or Mexican man, Asian woman. Asians are the ones marrying everybody else. White people are the ones marrying everyone else. Black people, for the most part, stick together. Even black people with money. Because when you're not dealing with NBA kind of black people, black men that make a lot of money are still marrying black women at a very high rate. I know. I'm pretty sure that Amara will feel. I look at like the neighborhood my parents we moved to when I was late in high school. I lived in View Park, California, LA. View Park is a hill. It's a three-sided hill, four-sided hill, full of black people. The side of the hill facing the north, Baldwin Hills. That's where John Singleton lived. Baldwin Hills and Baldwin Vista. On the hill facing the east, that's View Park. On the hill facing the southeast, that's Windsor Hills, black people. Tens of thousands of homes. The hill facing the south and the west, that's Ladera Heights. All black people. Black people married to black people. I lived in Windsor Hills, and my wife lived in Ladera Heights. We lived a mile and a half apart. And in Windsor Hills, View Park, my neighbor to the right owned his own Montessori school, a bunch of schools. He had like 15 schools. My neighbor to the left was like a high-ranking LAPD officer. My neighbor two doors down owned his own escrow company that's been in business in LA since the 50s. Like he got it from his parents. The lady across the street, her husband owned like a popular newspaper out here in LA. So that's my experience around black people. Shit, the house that was on that show, that was on the Ray Charles movie. That was up the street about a half a mile from there on South Ridge, North Ridge and South Ridge. Make a left on over it, make a right on onto North Ridge. If you're going north on Overhill, make a left on South Ridge, and you'll see that big ass house that Ray Charles lived in the Ray movie. But that's the neighborhood. And then like my wife, her neighborhood, Gerald Busby, the president of Motown, lived across the street from her. Like, I mean, the city councilman lived on her block. My wife didn't even know. I remember we were talking one time. She said she didn't even know black people struggled until the riots happened. And she was 10 when the riots happened. My wife said she didn't realize it until she was 10 that black people actually struggled. Why? Because in her world, it was black people with money. Money, 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 money. Married to black people. And that's a whole reality that never gets talked about. If you want to see a little bit of that reality, watch The Wood. Because The Wood was really filmed in my neighborhood. It was filmed in View Park and Ladera Heights. The Wood, um, Love and Basketball, that touched on our side of town a little bit. And so like I grew up knowing how great black people are. Like, because we started on the east side and the hood of LA. That's where I started as a child. But by the time I graduated high school, shit, all my neighbors was black people who like own shit. Like you motherfuckers own mortgage businesses and schools and like or they like worked really high up in the city. But usually in that neighborhood, you had to have more than just a good job to live up in there. Like Johnny Cochran was on our side of town. Um, shit, Christopher Darden, he lived in Ladera Heights. Christopher Darden used to live on the next block over from my wife. Christopher Darden, bitch ass. And this is while he was defending OJ. I mean, prosecuting OJ. I used to always see Christopher Darden at that McDonald's on Slauson and just in Fairfax. So always see Christopher Darden there. John, we used to always see like the Simply Wholesome. We used to always see John Singleton. John Singleton was a regular in the neighborhood. Like I used to run across John Singleton like once a month, either at Simply Wholesome. I run across John Singleton. I run across Nipsey. Nipsey'd always be out there selling CDs. I remember like Byron Scott lived around the corner. This is that's the kind of neighborhood we lived in. So I don't. My confidence in black people is at 100,000%. I know the fuck, and I know how we act when we ain't oppressed. Another thing that experience showed me was, look, when I got to live that shit, nigga, and I still got family over there. So like, I still be over there now. White people are moving in, but I still be over in the neighborhood, shit, weekly. And so I see how like when we have resources, when we're not under strict oppression, man, we get along well. We get along well. Like I remember, I talked to my wife about the elementary school she went to. She went to a black elementary school over in Dare Heights, and my wife was like, "Yeah, we never had fights." Like I was like, "Damn, my school." Carla said we used to have fights once a week. She was like, "Man, over there." Then she broke it down to me. She was like, "Well, when everybody like, I was like, y'all didn't trip over shoes and clothes." She used to be like, "Man." Every now and again, we would get a kid that came from the east side, and he would start telling jokes about people's clothes. Everybody would be looking, and it's like because like when everybody is in there that's black is black, and everybody's mom either has a Mercedes or dad got a Cadillac. and they live in a fucking 6,000 square foot home. Like, there's nothing you can say about their clothes that's going to make them offended. Like, that's literally the kind of environment my wife grew up in, and like, yeah, so it would be like it was so in and so it's like in areas where black people have resources, those little petty things aren't even a thing. And let me tell you something else about like View Park. Like, we always knew when we were in LAPD area, like, cause Culver City's to the east, I mean to the west, Inglewood's to the south, and 77th Street Police LAPD is to the west, and LAPD Southwest Division is to the north. Southwest and 77th Division is LA's most notorious police division, the most notorious by far. Well, not by far. The Southwest is right behind it. So we knew coming up into the Dare Heights, Baldwin Hills, all right, we see we're in LAPD territory. We gotta, drive in the lanes, be cool. But we knew the minute we get onto Slauson, we're in the Marina Sheriff Division. And the sheriff, they knew us, and we never got harassed. The LA County Sheriff in View Park, in the Dare Heights, where the black people got money, I never got harassed. I never got pulled over. Well, I got pulled over one time because I had a missing headlight. I mean, not headlight, my headlight that went out. And I showed the officer my ID. I was like, look, I live right there. He was like, oh, you live up in here? Oh, you good? Go home. Just, you good. Like, we never got fucked with. And I tell you this, when we call the police, nigga, in the Dare View Park, that black neighborhood, shit, that police gonna be there in 30 seconds. Nigga. You call the police, boom, 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 boom. Nigga, you ain't gonna, mm-mm. So I had a whole different experience, and this is in the middle of LA. The jungles, and when it comes to Baldwin Hills, the jungles that are like literally at the end of the block. Think about wherever you live right now. Look down at the end of your block. That's how far the jungles are from Baldwin Hills. Whatever the end of your block is, that's how it works. So you had BPS shooting niggas and killing niggas in one of the most high crime ridden parts of LA. Walk down one block, not a gunshot, nigga, ain't no blood walk, ain't no crip walking, nigga, ain't no loud music, nigga. Now they play the dozens, they just don't play the dozens over trivial shit. That's all. Them niggas crack jokes. They just don't crack jokes over my shoes are better than yours. It's like, nigga, everybody got on dope shoes, so there's nothing to talk about. That's more so the point of view. What's up, positive influence? Yeah, when black people got have now you be rich, just have minimal resources. All that petty shit go out the window. That petty shit happens the closer to the bottom you get, the more petty shit that's gonna happen. That's how that works. Because when people don't have anything, they got a pull rank because they feel like they ain't got no rank. You only got a pull rank. You only got a rank and pull these little and lower somebody with your jokes if you feel like you ain't got none. That's what that's born out of. Yeah, it's all kind of ways you can crack jokes. You can crack jokes. The best jokes are talking about people like, especially people who stink. You know? Yeah. So what the hell? What y'all talking about now? Oh, you said the rich black people avoid y'all in the South. Yeah. I be hearing shit like that. Like in View Park, the black people who own businesses that lived in View Park. they employed black people who lived in Inglewood. You know what I mean? And that's nothing. I worked at the bank in my 20s in downtown Inglewood, and most of my business clients were black. So I just got to see a whole. I got my business client was the black hair salon, the black owned nail salon, the black owned record shop that used to be on Manchester, in between Logan, right next to Bruno's, in between Locust and Hillcrest. The black owned gas station, the black owned McDonald's. All them people, the black owned nightclub, the Dynasty. Y'all listen to 5150 every now and again. You'll hear Corey Holm talk about cracking jokes at the Dynasty down in Inglewood. I remember the owner of that Dynasty before he died. He was one of my banking customers when I worked at the bank. So I've what's up? There's music. I'm one of the people, like, I've had too much experience around my people, and on a positive level, on a high vibrational level. So I'm 10 toes down. Going back to Neo, when it comes to addressing these motherfucking issues, you see, it's easy for me to take on Agent Smiths of this world when it comes to talking about the empowerment of black people. Anyone who wants to challenge me is Agent Smith, but I'm Neo to that shit. There ain't nothing. I saw how easy I sliced and diced them niggas on Fox Soul. They professionals. Shit, Tammy Mack been doing this shit way longer than me. I grew up, I was listening to Tammy Mack, nigga, when I was in college. Not even thinking about doing this, no podcasting. I was listening to her. But, nigga, they, they Agent Smith. They ain't shit. All my experience around seeing us at our best, you can't tell me shit different. Any nigga that want to challenge me is dog food. Anyone that want to come at me when we talking about the empowerment of black people, it's easy work. I can talk about it like that because my experience is so. I speak from my experience. I ain't speaking from a book. When I'm talking about what black people can do and how we are, we were not under oppression. That's not a concept to me. That's not because I read a book. That's not because I heard a John Henry Clark lecture, and I've heard plenty of John Henry Clark lectures. It's not because the Kerner Commission report. Now, I'll often mention, because I know most people haven't lived my experience. So, because most people have lived my experience as a reference point, I will recommend um, this the Kerner Commission report and the Moynihan report. Look those up on Google, and they'll tell you in their own words that black people, when left alone, left to our own devices, we don't commit crime. We're the most peaceful people in America. That's what they say. So I dropped that as a reference for everyone else. But I don't need the Kerner Commission report to tell me that. That was my fucking life. Yeah. Like, that was my life. And it was cool because it's like, and I'm glad my wife see my wife's parents is they some real ones. Like, my wife's dad, he was, when they lived in Ladera Heights, mind you, they lived in Ladera Heights the year her dad sold 10 million copies with Lionel Richie. I think that was a Dancing on Ceiling, or I think it was a Can't Slow Down album. He sold like 10 million copies of that album, and then he sold like another bunch of millions with the album he cut with Kenny Rogers. And he sold, I don't know how many millions with Atlantic Star that same year. I think he went number one with Atlantic Star and Lionel Richie in the same year. He could have been living in Beverly Hills, no problem. Him buying a house in Beverly Hills, and at that time, that's nothing. But he was like, nah, all my kids to be raised around to live around black people. So we moved to Ladera. You know, that's how for a time. That's how LA people got down with money. Think about it. I'm not like you can. I don't like telling too much business, but this shit you can look up. Like you can Google that. You can Google "Can't Slow Down" sold 10 million copies. Like that's not giving up any secrets. That's on Google, you know. And so from there you can add it up. Motherfucker, he could have been living in damn Beverly Hills, but no. So my wife is attracted to me and not some nigga named Brad. If she was raised in Beverly Hills, I'm 99.9% sure we one probably would have never met. Two, if we did meet, she probably wouldn't have been attracted to me. She probably would have been attracted to some nigga named Brad, some white boy named Brad. But because Pop said we moved to Ladera Heights instead, she attracted to me. We married. Life is good. Again, you see how everything ties in together? All this shit tie in together. All ties in together. All this shit. Um, so that's how it goes. You said let the church say amen. Yeah, the hood wasn't bad before crack. The hood, it was just black people living in the neighborhood. It wasn't even no hood. It was everybody was just like living their best life. You had some bullshit ass niggas like anything else. You niggas was driving fast. God damn. Niggas is gone. But that crack fucked everything up, man. Yeah, man. Like shit. Like, but even damn their heights. I remember the best part of my childhood was living on the east side of Slauson and Main Street, nigga, in the '80s, in the middle of the crack epidemic. When I was a kid in the hood, that's the hood. If you know LA, that's the hood. And we talk about 1986, 1988, 1990, those years. This is before the Mexicans started moving in. This is back when this was all hood. Shit, that was my favorite part. That was I remember the community back then, in the middle of the crack era. We knew we can play between Miss Jackson's house to the left and Miss Watson's house to the right. So Miss Jackson's house was like 5 houses down to the left of my grandmama's house, and Miss Watson's house was like 10 houses to the right. And in that area, we could play all night. And we would play when I was like 7 and 8 years old. We would play until 1 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, easily in the summertime. Nigga playing tag, man, racing in somebody's backyard, like around the 4th of July, get some firecrackers, dropping firecrackers down the ant holes. And this in the middle of the hood. Yeah, we had crackhead. We had this one crackhead named Katt who lived. Is Katt and Peaches. They was crackheads. Katt and Peaches lived like 3 houses down. They was crackheads, but they didn't fuck with nobody though. Katt and Peaches didn't fuck with nobody. They just was crackheads. They didn't break in nobody's shit. Now I do remember seeing the LAPD crash unit like tear down one of the houses across the street. I remember being up and them motherfuckers throwing some flashbangs in the house. And a SWAT team been out there. I remember seeing shit like that, but nigga, that shit was fun. I remember that sense of community, man. My memories of my life with black people has always been good. Like I don't have like, yeah, I saw a lot of people get shot, but I don't attribute that to black people. I attribute that to that person shot that person. That ain't our problem. I saw at least, I said it wasn't traumatic. I saw at least 4 people get shot by the time I was 9, 10. So at least 4 people get shot. But I never attributed that to black people. I attributed that those 4 people getting shot to those 4 people that shot him. Like, damn, that person was fucked up. But to me, it wasn't an all black people problem. I had too many good examples of black people around me. Yeah, yeah, man. Telling you, tell you. You right, gangsters and drugs don't mix. Like my experience, like, but a lot of that again has to do with your vibration. Like we're all on different vibrations, and we all here to experience different things. Your struggle is gonna be different than my struggle. My struggle it deals in other areas. It doesn't deal with dealing with black people. I have other struggles, you know. Some people struggles dealing with black people. Some people struggles dealing with their own family. Other people struggles is dealing with the IRS. Like nigga, everybody gonna have some group or structure that really gets in their fucking way. So the only thing we can really do is learn from each other. That's really all we can do. Learn from our experiences and learn from each other. You know, like my parents are always very upstanding. I don't ever have it. I've never had to deal with, you know, somebody calling and my mom or my dad saying, "Don't answer," or "That's a bill." Like I don't. I never dealt with that. So that's why I can be Neo when I'm dealing with these Agent Smiths out here that want to say, "What about black on black crime?" Them motherfuckers are so easy to slice up and dice up. I diced them motherfuckers up the same way the Warriors diced up the Dallas Mavericks today. Y'all saw that shit? The Warriors is moving that ball, slicing them niggas up. I appreciate that mask on. Yeah, that's what it is, man. Working therapy, man. I don't. That was the hardest shit I ever did. Working mental health in South Central LA. I can't even begin to tell y'all some of them stories. Them stories are so goddamn traumatic. I thank God for my therapist. I had 2 therapists that help me deal with that. But I'm telling you right now, there's 2 other kind of therapists that helped me more. I had a psychologist once and an MFT, and they both helped me deal with a lot of the trauma that I dealt with that job. But let me tell you, the two they were good. But let me tell you what was great. Kendall, Kendall Cobb, the hypnotherapist that I'm always referring you guys to, her and mushrooms, nigga. For me, and I'm not a doctor, I cannot give medical advice. This is not a recommendation. This is just a story based on personal experience. I am not in any way, shape, or form recommending that you try a substance known as mushrooms. Don't listen to me. Now to the story. Mushrooms, nigga, for me, when I was dealing with some of the lingering effects from the traumas of that job, I had a few lingering effects, nigga, and I had a couple other traumatic experiences I had to have to deal with. Nigga, I got real clear one night, wrote the shit that I want to get through down, nigga, went on a mushroom trip, and I was able to see these problems from a totally different angle to the point to where I was like, you know what? Why am I hung up on this bullshit? And away went the last lingering trauma I had from working in that very traumatic environment. That's just a personal story. I do not recommend you listen to me, make your own decisions based on your own research. I'm just telling you my story. I say you was at the game. Yeah, pool was taking angles. Hey, thank you, Star. I was on the phone with Kendall today. Hit her up. She said, you know, thank y'all. Some there've been a few of y'all. Of course, she don't share with me any names. She keeps all that stuff private. Nor do I ask because that's not how I get down. If you hit up anyone, whether it be King Simon or Kendall or anyone I talk about, they ain't gonna tell me, and I'm not gonna ask. I'm just here to help motherfuckers. I just want a motherfucker to do better. And if I could throw you a lob, I'm gonna be Magic Johnson, nigga. If I got a resource that can help you get through what the fuck you going through, here you go. They ain't gonna tell me you called them. I'm not gonna ask. It ain't my business. I'm too goddamn busy to be asking them kind of menial ass questions anyway. You said Acid did it for you? Yeah. That's why I didn't do, when I did the Kendrick Lamar review, nigga, I went on a trip that night after the show because Sunday night was the blood moon, and full moons. If you want to release issues, full moons meditations during a full moon is a great time to do it. But a blood moon, when it comes to dealing with certain internal issues, is a great fucking time. When you talk about sacrifice on the blood moon, sacrifice is definitely one aspect. When they're talking about like people getting killed, I guess that is an aspect of blood moon. But sacrifice also means sacrificing certain things that are in you that you want to let go, letting that out. That's also a form of sacrifice. Getting rid of things. Nigga, I did that Kendrick Lamar review, and about an hour into the review, I started chewing on I had a shroom candy bar. I started eating my shroom bar about an hour because it takes a good 30, 45 minutes for them shrooms to hit. Nigga, I started eating that shroom bar about an hour into that incense and ashtrays. So the last 20 minutes of that show, the last 30 minutes of that show, nigga. No, I started taking that shroom bar about 30 minutes into that review. Yeah, because like at about an hour into it, my computer screen had like a green hue around all the letters. I was looking at people in the chat room on Mixcloud, and everybody was like, "Star, you was typing," but like, yo, Quan, y'all were typing, but y'all words had like a green ring around them. And I started really interpreting certain messages in the music, but it didn't really hit me. I just started to get the visuals because that candy bar wasn't enough. I needed some more. I had like another candy bar. I ate half of that one too. So I didn't really start tripping out until about an hour after that mixed cloud. I started getting the visuals about 30 minutes into it, but I didn't really get to that tripping state till about 30, maybe an hour, 30 minutes, maybe an hour after that incense and ashtrays. And nigga, that shit was great. That shit was great. I didn't go to bed until like 6 in the morning. I didn't go to bed till like 6 in the morning on Sunday. I mean, Monday morning. Nigga, that shit was fun. That shit was fun. I'm not. I don't know if I'm gonna do acid. I can't. I don't know if I can do acid. I don't know if I can do acid. I do want to try DMT one day. I do want to do DMT, but I don't know if I can do acid. Now I've never time traveled on a trip. I generally try to stay in the present, and I use trips for my mental advantage. You know, I'm telling you, the reason why I know that the trips work is because there are certain things that I've gained, that I have, that I've worked on from ideas that came out of those trips, like parts of my business, like y'all about to see a major expansion with incense and ashtrays. Incense and ashtrays is becoming a full-on music media blog. Hell, that music family tree that I have, that idea came in the shroom trip. That trip that I'm about to put up there for y'all. I think if y'all watch the regular show, I put that out. I showed you guys on the last show the music family tree. It's taking you guys back to the year 1609 to now when it comes to music. But that whole idea came out of a shroom trip. I was like, man, I just visualized it. I was like, man, I'm not going to do a regular tree. I'm making this tree a piece of artwork. And I saw that shit in my mind on a shroom trip. I got about that motherfucker. Man, I picked up like some music history books that I already have. And then I bought like 6 or 7 more books and started reading through them hoes. And I created that. I, for the most part, created the tree in about a day as far as the placements and all the genres of music. And then like I kept re-editing it for like 2 or 3 weeks, just the placements and referencing books to make sure my time is right. And then I sent it over to my artist. But that music family tree, nigga, a mushroom trip told me to do that shit. Yeah, I shot paintball, but that was a long ass time ago. That was back when I was fat and athletic. I'm not athletic anymore. I'm just fat. But yeah, that music family tree, that was a mushroom trip, nigga. That was a mushroom trip that was like, man. I was listening to Stevie Wonder. Then I was listening to a song. Um, I forgot what song I listened to. But I was like, you know what? Oh yeah, it's a song called. It's a song by. What's his name? I'm getting tired. I'm gonna get out of here, but I'll tell a story. What's that nigga's name? He played with the I got Junie Morrison. He played with the Ohio Players and he played with Parliament Funkadelic. But he broke out and started playing his own music like in 1980. And he has a song called Susie Thuzy. I think it's called Susie Thuzy. And I was listening to that shit on my mushroom trip. And I was like, man, that guitar riff is Busta what it is right now. Dun, 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 dun. That's a guitar riff Junie Morrison plays on his song called Susie Thuzy that came out like in like 1980 or 79 or something like that. And I was thinking, this nigga Busta Rhymes got the nerve to say hip hop is Jamaican when one of his biggest hits, the rhythm, is an underground, underknown hit. Not hit, it wasn't even a hit. A rarely known song by Junie Morrison. I'm like, the nerve of this nigga to say like America has no culture, and the nerve of this nigga to get all of these hits from black American artists, but say hip hop is Jamaican. And I thought about that when I was on that mushroom trip. I said, you know what, nigga, I'm making a motherfucking music history tree. That's what I'm gonna do. And then I got a vision for how it's gonna look while I was in that trip. Nigga, I wrote that idea down and I made the motherfucking tree. Because I was like, that's probably gonna be the best way to shut these niggas up. Let me just make myself a music history tree that shows these niggas where they belong in this thing we call Black American music. Yeah. Yeah, I thought rock was white people music too. I used to think the guitar was a white people instrument growing up in the 80s. And in the 80s, you're only a decade removed from fucking Eddie Hazel and Funkadelic and Al McKay with Earth, Wind and Fire, and nigga Prince was still out there, but we thought Prince was the only nigga that played guitar. You're one decade removed from Slave and Kool and the Gang and the Ohio Players and all these black bands that feature guitar. You're only 2 decades removed from fucking Bo Diddley and goddamn Muddy Waters and their guitar riffs and Jimi Hendrix at the time. And we still thought the guitar was a white people instrument. It only take one fucking generation, 1 decade to change the perception. That's all it took. I can imagine if I'm my dad if I'm my dad or my grandparents, they probably looking at me crazy. What do you mean? It's guitar is a white person instrument. We had Muddy Waters, Bo Diddley, but when you look at somebody born in '81 and all the all the videos got white people playing the guitar, even Michael Jackson, he had that punk rock white chick playing the guitar for him. And then you look at all the music videos, it's white people playing the guitar. So by the time I'm 8, the only nigga that play the guitar is Prince. So I'm thinking, hell, the guitar is a white people instrument. That's why we need that tree. The Kemo is cold. Yeah. I grew up really thinking guitar was a white people instrument. Uh, I'm about to go in and kick it, y'all. My wife is done watching that bullshit movie. She was watching one of them goddamn romantic comedies. That shit probably off by now, so I'm about to go back in there and kick it. I don't want to watch that bullshit. I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow.